Yeah, yeah. Everything happens for a reason, and for us you gave up your only son. I go for you.
My name is Philip Illsley, and I would like to talk to you today about the gift of the divine will. This great gift which Jesus is giving all mankind today through the servant of God, Luisa Piccarreta. Now this great gift is now available today to whoever wants it, and all we have to do is desire it and then ask Jesus for it. Now you can learn all about this and how to do this by clicking onto my website www.holyishisname.co.uk, and you can download free the books I have written and learn how to live and pray in the divine will. This gift will put things back into the original order intended by God, and the divine will can reign once again on earth, and Satan's reign on earth will be destroyed. He will be chained in hell, and no longer will he be able to torment mankind. Then, my friends, the Father's will at last be done on earth as it is in heaven. And this great new period on earth, where man, the church and the gospel will receive God's glory, and God the Father will receive the perfect glory due to him since the beginning of time. God the Father will receive the perfect glory due to him since the beginning of time. Jesus told Luisa Piccarreta, "I cannot give you a greater gift at this time of headlong rush into evil and destruction than this gift of my divine will." This new and divine holiness is the fulfillment of the Lord's Prayer Jesus taught us to say over 2,000 years ago, that the Father's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This is the fulfillment of the Lord's Prayer Jesus taught us over 2,000 years ago, that the Father's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Luisa Piccarreta received from Jesus the graces of graces, the sanctity of sanctity, that Luisa was the first creature born in original sin to enter back into the divine will while still living on this earth. This began the third decree of God, the sanctification of all of mankind. The first decree of God was creation. The second decree of God was redemption. And these three decrees, creation, redemption, and sanctification, were to be fulfilled in history before the end of time. These three decrees, creation, redemption, and sanctification, were to be fulfilled in history before the end of time. From the time of Luisa's first Holy Communion at the age of 9, she was able to speak to Jesus for up to 2 to 3 hours after receiving him in Holy Communion. During her teenage life, she saw Jesus carrying his cross. He said to her, "Soul, please help me." And the horror of seeing him so badly treated caused her to faint. And from this time, she had an insatiable thirst to suffer for the salvation of souls. As she was leaving her teenage life, her appetite for food diminished completely, and her spiritual directors knew they were in charge of an exceptional soul. One morning in her early 20s, showing himself as the crucified Saviour, Jesus gave Luisa Piccarreta the most painful stigmata of his passion: the wounds in his hands and his feet and the crown of thorns. And Jesus, responding to Luisa's wishes, he left them invisible. She did not want them visible. And all this suffering of Luisa was to make reparation to divine justice, which was excessively angered, and to avert many chastisements for all of mankind. All this suffering, my friends, of Luisa was to avert many chastisement for all of mankind. From her early 20s, this great mystic of the Catholic Church lived on nothing but the Eucharist for over 64 years, through to her death at nearly 82. This victim soul, confined to her bed for over 64 years, and her only food was Jesus in Holy Communion. Her only food for 64 years was Jesus in Holy Communion. At the age of 23, she arrived at the state of mystical marriage with Jesus. And 11 months later, at the age of 24, she was given the gift of the divine will. And on this day, the third degree of God began, the decree of sanctification. This began first in the soul of Luisa, and from that instant, the kingdom of the divine will began to reign on earth. From that instant, the kingdom of the divine will began to reign on earth. By the time of her death in March 1947, she had written 36 volumes of the Book of Heaven. And Jesus told her that no holiness from the past remotely resembles this gift, the great gift of the divine will. And that by Luisa operating within the divine will, she would open the doors for all others to enter, and that these people would be living and praying with Jesus and his Blessed Mother in the divine will. Luisa Piccarreta would open the door for all others to enter, and that these people would be living and praying with Jesus and his Blessed Mother in the divine will. Jesus said, one act in the divine will is a divine act and gives more glory than all the acts of all the previous saints and martyrs combined. And that one prayer in the divine will is worth more than a lifetime of prayer in the human will. One prayer, my friends, in the divine will is worth more than a lifetime of prayer in the human will. If the whole of humanity prayed in a human way, Jesus said, even this great volume of prayer would not compare with just one prayer in the divine will. This, my friends, is the power we have of praying and living in the divine will. And it is why it is vital today that people know how to do this. I would ask you again, click onto my website, www.holyishisname.co.uk, and learn how to do this. Go to the Divine Will page and learn how to do this. Jesus also told Luisa that while he was on this earth, during his hidden life, the time that he was found in the temple by Mary and Joseph at the age of 12 and went back to Nazareth with them, till the time he started his public ministry at the age of 30. These 18 years of his hidden life, Jesus took into himself all the thoughts, all the words, all the actions, everything about everyone, from Adam to the last person to be born. And he redid the lives of everyone in his divine will. And in this way, there is a divine version of everyone's life suspended in him. Why did Jesus do this? Because, my friends, only the divine version of our lives can give the Father a perfect return of love and glory. Only the divine version of our lives can give the Father a perfect return of love and glory. Now all of us can find in Jesus the divine version of our own lives. All we have to do is desire it and ask Jesus for it. Now this, my friends, is really remarkable once we know how to do this. And look again on my website, holyishisname.co.uk, and learn how to live and pray in the divine will. This prayer, my friends, is really amazing praying. It is breathtaking and so powerful, and it is why Satan's kingdom will be destroyed on earth. This prayer is so powerful because it is Jesus and all of heaven who are praying with us. It is so powerful, my friends, because it is Jesus and all of heaven who are praying with us. Jesus went on to tell Luisa that the people who are living and praying in the divine will, they become luminous points upon the earth. The saints in heaven, because they are living in the divine will, they know where these people are upon the earth, because we are living in the same eternal mode. Jesus said these people should no longer feel themselves citizens of earth, because they are citizens of heaven. our Blessed Mother today, my friends, needs divine will prayer warriors to hasten the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and the era of peace will begin to reign on earth. And this way of praying is so powerful. It has infinite value and power because it is a call upon the divine action itself. Because it is Jesus and all of heaven who are praying with us. And by means of this prayer, God will feel disarmed and won over by all of his creatures, and this will obtain that the divine will be done on earth as it is in heaven, according to the desire of the divine Master. This is why I say again, it is so vital today to know how to live and pray in the divine will and to defeat Satan's kingdom on earth and hasten the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the era of peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening to these words of wisdom, pearls of gold from the divine will and the servant of God, Luisa Piccarreta, and that God's will can now be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Yes, I go for you.
Yes, I said I go for you.
I said I go for you.
Yes, I said I go for you.